Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, good things come in threes. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. Mark, how's it going?
It's going great. LA is under a blizzard warning.
We are under a blizzard warning, and I know it's been years since we've done a weather report, weather check-in. What do we call these things?
I think it was a weather report.
Weather report. Okay, yeah. But yeah, we're under a blizzard warning.
Yeah.
Do you think that we will see snow on the ground in Los Angeles this year?
Oof. No,
It's been
I still don't.
It's been 79 years since it last snowed in downtown LA.
It still feels. I know. We're under a blizzard warning. But no, it just doesn't feel possible. Like I was driving over here today, and it's cold outside, but it's beautiful. Like the sky is super clear.
Right.
It's
but it wasn't earlier today.
No,
though.
so it's like an amazing night. So it doesn't feel possible to me that it's even going to rain as much as it's going to rain. Anyways,
here's the thing. It's going to happen. We're going to have a white Christmas this year. It's just going to be 2 months late. That's all.
Well, the timing of this like worst storm that Southern California has seen in 40 years could not be better. Because we, of course, are going to Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood on this Sunday, February 26th. And although we're not doing a formal meet and greet just because of short notice and a blizzard warning, if you happen to be
evidently
there,
the park is sold out now.
So if you happen to be there, we still want to meet up with you. So let us know, send us an email, hit us up on Discord, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know somehow that you are there, that you are going to be there, because we would love to hang out with anyone who is there as well.
Yeah, we like Mark said, we are getting there early. Mark didn't say this, but we're going to be there all day.
Yeah.
So if there's a blizzard, we'll be there.
That's right. Rain, snow,
right.
grapple.
Could be grapple, which is a sort of soft hail.
A new weather phenomenon that we were Googling earlier today.
The weather
new to us.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not actually new. It first appeared in a weather report in 1899, putting us both to shame. Be like, ugh, not actually new. Here's what is actually new, though. We've got a Patreon, and on that Patreon, we are doing all sorts of fun stuff, including a mini-series that is us talking about the great detective shows of the past. We're calling it an NCS Detective Club. If you would like access to any of those episodes, you should subscribe to our Patreon at either the $8 or $16 level. There's other bonuses there, too. You know how Patreon works. You can go to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society if any of that sounds like fun to you. And then finally, you should get in our Discord, because Discord, that's where people are having fun conversations. Look, we got an announcement of a new Mario movie trailer. We were talking about it in the Discord today. Are we going to talk about it on this episode? No, there's no time.
No time.
Get in the Discord. It's invite only, so send us an email at Nintendo Cartridge Society
@gmail.com,
and we'll send you an invite. You can jump in and have a great time chatting with us. All right, Mark. Let's get into our sort of bizarre esoteric task today. Let's cast the Triforce with other Nintendo characters. So this topic partially comes to us from an email from Xander. Xander, thank you for your email. He wrote, if you guys could bring 3 characters from any game and put them in a game together, who would they be and what would that game look like? Great, the conversation starter. Xander, I want to add one word to this email. I'm going to do it right now. Here it goes. If you could bring any 3 characters from any game and put them in a Zelda game together, who would they be and what would that game look like? 3 characters, gonna make you think of Zelda, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got that Triforce of like core characters, Link, Zelda, Ganondorf, representing the Triforces of courage, wisdom, and power, respectively. And part of the reason that this is on my mind part of the reason this is on our mind. This is a collective. We don't always share one mind, but in this case we do. Is that we're seeing stuff from we're seeing footage, clips, trailers for Tears of the Kingdom, and I gotta say I don't totally have a grasp on what the relationship is between our core three in Tears of the Kingdom, because it seems like, have we seen like an undead Ganondorf before?
I don't think so.
Like a mummy Ganondorf.
Right.
Feels weird. We've had Ghost Zelda before. And honestly, I don't know does it seem like, is Zelda around in this? Is she actually part of Link's arm?
Yeah, there's so much that we don't know. It's all very intriguing.
And so because we don't know anything else about it, and the more we interrogate those videos, the less I understand, frankly.
Absolutely.
Someone starts talking about the Zonai, and I'm like, I don't know what we're talking about. So we thought that we would go through the various stations of the Triforce, and cast Nintendo characters as those individual pieces of, either representing courage, wisdom, or power, or sort of how they would be in the role of Link, Zelda, or Ganon, right? And just sort of tease that all out, figure out what kind of Zelda game we've created. And because it's us, we've implemented a random number generator.
That's right. So we each came prepared with characters for power, wisdom, and courage. Mm-hmm. And then in order to complete the Triforce and have 3 characters per game that we're creating, we're going to be picking 2 characters using a random number generator from a list of Nintendo characters that Patrick and I have previously created.
Yes. So this is 100 Nintendo characters that we will be randomly selecting from. Like 6 times, 12 times. So we're going to use a lot of these randomly generated characters. And we tried to go a little bit broader on those characters and more specific in the ones that we're bringing like to the table, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So I've done, this kind of brought up a question for me, which was, do I understand the lore of like the Triforce?
This is great.
In The Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
And the answer was like, no, not really. Like, I kind of get the gist.
Right.
But like, how does the Triforce work? Can anybody wield the Triforce? So those were the questions. So before we get into it.
Yeah. So
those were kind of like the questions that I went searching for answers and on Reddit, and this is what I found, and I it's from it's because somebody basically asked this question, same question I had on Reddit, like,
which is just, what's the deal with it?
What's the deal with the Triforce? Can anybody wield the Triforce?
How does it work? Okay, great.
And so Tyre the Adventurer responded, and this was the one I thought was the most easy for me to understand.
What's the subreddit that you're in here?
I don't know. I copied and pasted it.
Great.
I can't remember. In the Sacred Realm, the Triforce will split if a person touches it without a balanced heart. And those pieces will go to the people that best personify the parts of the Triforce. So that's why in Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf only had power because that's what he desired most. So he had to go collect the remaining pieces. And so the other pieces, of course, go to Zelda and Link.
See, now it's interesting because the Triforces themselves can be, depending on the game, either physical objects in the world or just like glowing tattoos on their hands, right? So I do think that the Triforce is more metaphysical than physical.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it is simultaneously both, metaphysical and physical.
Well, also, okay, so it seems like, so the Triforce of Power embodies the essence of the goddess of power, Din, who is the creator of Hyrule. The Triforce of Wisdom
also is the Mandalorian.
Embodies the essence of the goddess of wisdom, Nehru, the author of law. And then the Triforce of Courage embodies the essence of the goddess of courage, Feror, the source of all life. And so, but yeah, so like
that one seems like the winner, right? Because like power is or at least the way that it's described in the opening of Ocarina, or not the opening, but the explanation of the goddesses is that power is the earth. Wisdom is, like you say, the laws that govern the earth, and then courage is like everything that populates that earth and obeys those laws.
Right.
It just seems all encompassing.
Yeah. I mean, power seems pretty good too. It gives you the blessing so you're like a godlike entity, vastly more powerful than an immortal, affording its wielder invulnerability, vast strength, and an unlimited source of mystical power. Like, all of these basically make you overpowered.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're like 3 elemental forces. It's also, I mean, speaking of elemental forces, Din is usually associated with fire. Nehru is the
author of law.
The author of law. Is that Nehru's wind? And then I'm mixing these up, I think.
Well, and then I'm not even gonna venture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
What Ferror's? No, Ferror is the wind. I'm gonna look up this other one, Mark.
Okay. But yeah, so like I said, Triforce of Power makes you incredibly powerful. Triforce of Wisdom makes you incredibly wise. It grants the holder untold mystical abilities, including the ability to heal others and presumably the ability to communicate telepathically. And then the Triforce of Courage, it grants the bearer untold mystical abilities, one of them being protection against magic.
Nehru's Love is the name of the spell. It's like the healing one.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I think we've done it. We've crashed our courses. We understand what we're talking about here. And once we put characters in those roles, we will have to figure out what monstrous game we've just created.
Yes.
With these characters. So, Mark, we are going to go power, then wisdom, and then courage. Would you like to go first, or would you like to go second?
I elect to go second.
Then I will go first. Okay. We're doing Nintendo characters here. And with my first pick, I'm stretching the definition of what is a Nintendo character.
Love it.
Can we agree that Star Wars Shadows of the Empire is, in fact, a Nintendo game?
Yes, I will allow it.
Okay. Now, maybe he doesn't even appear in the game, but you sure do bomb his temple. Prince Zizor from Shadows of the Empire is going to be my Triforce of Power. So, Prince Zizor, he's the main villain of the publishing piece of the book, Shadows of the Empire, and he's like a hoity-toity, snooty villain, right? Mm-hmm. He prides himself on his ability to read exactly how he's going to be able to take someone down politically, and just does it, right? He can read you like an open book. And has a lot of money and a lot of influence, and he enjoys the finer things. So he's going to be our Triforce of Power, and let's figure out who's going to be Wisdom and Courage.
Okay, excellent. So it's between 1 and 100.
Mm-hmm.
I will generate the first number.
Okay.
Which is 66.
Number 66 is... 66 is Rob the Robot.
Okay, perfect.
And then I will do between 1 and 99. And actually, first we're going to take Rob off the list so that that number is gone. Okay, between 1 and 99, my number is number 9.
Which is Roy.
Oh, Roy Koopa is who that is.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. So what spots do they occupy in this game? So I think probably as they are, right? That Rob the Robot is the Triforce
Wisdom.
Is probably Wisdom. It may be counterintuitive for a robot to be like a vessel of love, but he's also he's the spirit of law. That sounds cold and logical.
Mm-hmm.
And then Courage, Roy, he's, I mean, kind of a lot of bad boys in this, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the bad boy Zelda game for sure.
Yeah. So he's in the
Zelda
role
game your
of
mom
Link.
doesn't want you to play.
That's right. This isn't your father's Zelda game,
no.
okay? All right. So Roy is our Triforce of Courage. He's the hero. What sort of Zelda game have we generated here?
So I feel like it's not terrible for Rob to be the Triforce of Wisdom, because in a lot of Zelda games, Zelda is fairly removed from the action, right?
Right. It's sometimes in a support role, though.
Mm-hmm. And so, which I feel like fits Rob really well.
True.
And then if Roy is the hero of a game.
First of all, dream come true for you.
I mean, absolutely. Already, one of my favorite games ever. Mm-hmm. Roy Koopa and Prince Zizor from Shadows of the Empire.
I mean, this is the perfect game for you. Yeah. So, Mark, maybe you should just describe your perfect Zelda game.
Yeah, I mean, it's checking a lot of boxes, but I wonder if a game where a Zelda game where Roy Koopa is the, like, protagonist is really kind of one where like an anti-hero.
Yeah, totally. Like a Taylor Swift song.
Yes.
I think this has to be in space, too. Like, I think we have to take Roy and, like, put him into a Mario Galaxy sort of context, right? Because being a Mario character, he can hang with that. And then Rob is a robot. Robots love space. Mm-hmm. And Prince Zizor...
right at home there.
Right at home there. So I think this has to be a sort of, like, space-bound Zelda game with Prince Zizor as the villain.
Yeah, and where Roy Koopa is like a bad boy.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. I mean, maybe it actually all takes place on, because Prince Zizor has a palace on Coruscant, and that's where he likes to hang out. Because again, hoity-toity, well-to-do.
Right.
So maybe that's where the whole thing is.
I love that. So like, Roy Koopa is starting down at the bottom, like
selling death sticks. Yep, here we go.
And then he's finding his way up to the penthouses of Coruscant, where Prince Zizor is hanging out.
I love this. And each like floor, like one floor can be like like a greenhouse, and that's like the Kokiri forest. And the next one up is like a fake desert.
Yeah,
and so it's almost like
the raid.
Yeah, it's almost like the raid. I was going to say Phantom Hourglass with this tower that you have to keep ascending.
Yeah, yes, so, both those things.
There we go. So this is like the raid meets Phantom Hourglass by way of Star Wars.
And maybe Rob the Robot is like robot droid, like you have a Star Wars thing going. Yep. So maybe Rob the Robot in this instance is like Zelda in Spirit Tracks, and
yes,
where like a constant companion that is with Roy Koopa.
Maybe it's just that Rob's like he jacked into the the tower's system, and so his consciousness is just like everywhere.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's very good.
This game sounds great. I want to play it right now. Mark, would you like to give your Triforce of Power character?
Yeah, so I absolutely 100% cheated on all of these, where I have 2 picks for all of them.
What are we gonna do?
And so maybe,
just in case we pick the same one.
No, I mean I and a lot of times they're like diametrically opposed, and so like they're very different. Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is just float both of them, and then we will narrow it down to one.
Unprecedented.
Is that fair? Can I do that? Or should I just pick one? Maybe this is better. Yeah. Maybe I'll just pick one, and then at the end, I'll say what my other picks are. Because it's not like they're like groundbreaking or anything.
Sure. I mean, or I can reserve the right to hate your first pick.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, how about we do that? How about we do that?
All right.
I will. Yeah. Okay. So my first pick for the Triforce of Power is Kirby.
Oh.
And I think the reason I chose Kirby is because Kirby is a very cute pink thing. I mean, it's just a Kirby. Kirby is a Kirby.
Right. It's unclear what it is.
But Kirby holds untold power.
Yes.
Like, inside Kirby is unknowable.
Right.
Like, what is going on with the physiology of Kirby?
Not just the physiology, but just like the physics of what's happening inside Kirby.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even a biological question. It is one of just trying to understand the physical space in there.
And just truly, and so I feel like if the Triforce was split. Now, I actually think between power, wisdom, and courage that Kirby could be a character that is well balanced enough that could wield the full Triforce.
Wow.
But maybe wisdom, not so much. I think courage,
say,
power, yes.
We love Kirby, and he's unkillable.
Not a lot going on behind those eyes.
He's dumb. Yeah. Now, this is all good, and I won't raise an objection here, but I just want to say, he's on our list of possible characters that we could select.
Oh yeah, I think multiple of my characters are on the list. Yeah, so we might have to like remove them if they come up again.
Sure. In fact, I'm just going to remove Kirby from the list right now.
Okay. So Kirby. So I think Kirby is my pick for the Triforce of Power.
All right, great. So Kirby is Triforce of Power. I am going to roll a number between 1 and 97 to get one of our other participants. Oops, that is the wrong place to type that. Here we go. Between 1 and 97, the answer is 89.
Which is Adam Malkovich.
Adam Malkovich.
From the Metroid series.
Yep, from Metroid Other M and sort of from Fusion and not really from Dread. And then, Mark, would you like to pull the other number between 1 and 96?
Yep, that is number 49.
Number 49 is Rusty Slugger.
Oh, there we go.
All right, so... First, we have to decide who's wisdom and who's courage.
Well, okay. I'm not a huge fan of Adam Malkovich.
Right.
But between him and Rusty Slugger...
Rusty Slugger, by the way, the dog from Rusty's Real Deal Baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like... So Adam Malkovich is like a commander in Other M, has kind of like a strained relationship with Samus because... she was really good friends with his like younger brother, and
yeah, that's right, and blamed her for his death.
No,
is that just a different movie?
No, you're right. It's just reversed.
Okay.
She blames him because he his brother is basically on a suicide mission, right. And Samus is like, no, like I can go save him or something like that, and Adam is like, no, it's a loss.
Can't.
Like,
okay, got it,
exactly.
Got it.
And so Samus held that against Adam for like the longest time until she kind of like realizes he was doing something for the greater good.
Right. Okay.
Basically, what I'm saying is, I think the Last Jedi maybe ripped off Other M.
Wait, hold on. Hold on, I don't follow that math.
Well, because Poe is like, oh, we gotta like get out there and like do something, and doesn't understand, right? Doesn't understand what Leia's up to. Anyways,
which also just leads Samus to be like a lone gun and not actually part of this like galactic federation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what makes her kind of like retire. So all of this is to say, I don't love Adam Malkovich as a character, but between him and Rusty Slugger is not particularly wise, so I'm going to say Adam is well cast as wisdom.
Well, and also, like, again, we're talking about like a support character, right? Someone who like is in a position to help the player character. The thing that is really twisting my mind, but I don't see that we have any other choice, is that we're making Rusty Slugger the hero.
Well, and I think that heroes are
come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
Like, I think Rusty Slugger, of these three characters, Rusty Slugger is the most likely to fit the classic Joseph Campbell, like hero cycle. Like call to action. Rusty's going to refuse that call to action.
Oh, but just eventually over and over again.
Whereas Adam and Kirby are too noble, is I guess, to refuse the call.
Adam Malkovich is duty bound.
Duty bound, I guess, is what I would say.
But Kirby's just game for whatever challenge comes his way.
Absolutely.
Right?
I just think of
what drives Kirby.
No, I just think of
no.
I just think of the opening of Planet Robobot.
Yeah,
where Kirby's just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally like napping under a tree,
right?
And then a giant mechanical monster comes out of the sky into Planet Popstar and like drills into the ground, and Kirby just pops right into action. Goes from sleep. Mm-hmm. To I'm going to defeat this giant monster thing. What motivates Kirby? It's unknowable.
It is unknowable. I think he just wants to continue napping. I think that's got to be it.
That's got to be it.
Because a number of Kirby games actually start with him just like taking a nap, and then someone is there to like ruin his nap.
Yeah, Kirby's natural state is sleeping.
Right.
Relatable. Our relatable villain? Well, actually, is he the villain of this game? He doesn't have to be. Does the wielder of the Triforce of Power have to be the villain?
It's always Ganondorf.
Well, yes, but this is our game. Right?
Wow. I mean, this is blowing my mind a little bit. I hadn't really considered that the character in the Triforce of Power role wouldn't be the villain.
Well, it makes sense that it'd be Power because, like, characters being driven by power. I mean, So that may be true, because like a character driven by wanting to be the most wise, I guess that is not impossible.
Right.
And then
there's no villain who wants to be the most courageous. Like, that doesn't... Okay, so let's... What do you want to work on here first? Because there are two big issues to solve here. One, a story in which Kirby is the villain. Two, the story in which Rusty is the hero. I mean, maybe this is a sports game.
So we're talking like a Zelda spin-off, like
crossbow training. Right. Hard actually to, like, you say that, and then we both, like, deer in the headlights. What the heck is a Zelda spin-off game? There aren't many.
Right. So Rusty as the hero does not actually, like I said, like, that doesn't throw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Because I really do feel like he would fit the Joseph Campbell, like, hero cycle perfectly.
I mean, I wonder if this is like young Rusty Slugger, that like we are meeting him before he's gone pro even. Right, or maybe that's like part of like the journey of the game is that like you start in college ball, and you got to like work your way up. But I still think it should have like dungeons and stuff. I think it has to be like a classic Zelda.
I think it could be, but those two things could still be true.
Sure.
And so I like this. So maybe Adam Malkovich for like the Triforce of Wisdom is in this instance like a coach. Or, like some sort of...
right. Or like a washed-up ball player who's like a mentor.
Or he could be, like a small child who is sick in the hospital that just wants Rusty Slugger to like...
hit home runs
to hit a home run for him to make him feel better. And Kirby...
is the disease that the little kid has in the hospital? Okay, so it's like a tiny Kirby inside inside the body of child Adam Malkovich.
And the reason he is motivated to do this is not important, because what motivates Kirby is unknowable.
That's right.
So in this instance, that unknowable, like, when Kirby's using that for good, we cheer it. But when Kirby is using that for evil, it's really scary.
That's right.
Unknowable evil is very scary.
And our weird Zelda game is willing to tell the stories that Nintendo refuses to tell you.
So I just want to make sure, we should just state all of this back to make sure that we're getting it.
So Rusty Slugger is a young baseball player who is promised a sick child, Adam Malkovich, as a child, that he's going to hit home runs for him. The child is sick because a malicious Kirby has been shrunk down, maybe Minish Cap style. And is inside child Adam Malkovich, Bowser's Inside Story style.
And then what is Rusty doing that will eventually defeat Kirby?
He just has to hit so many home runs that the child's spirits are improved so much that his immune system fights and kills Kirby.
And I see.
Yeah.
Okay. It all makes sense.
So it's a little bit of a home run derby, a little bit of a Minish Cap, a little bit of a Bowser's Inside Story. And it's young versions of two of these characters.
It could be young Kirby.
Sure.
Why not?
I don't know. Because I feel like it should maybe be an old Kirby, because he's like grumpy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, who knows what motivates Kirby. All right. That's maybe the least Zelda-y Zelda game that we've pitched, but we threw Minish Cap in there, so I think it counts. All right, so now we are doing our Triforce of Wisdom. Yes?
Yep.
I will go first. For my Triforce of Wisdom, I am, of course, going back to one of my favorite role-playing games on the Super NES, to Super Mario RPG. The character I'm selecting here is Prince Mallow of the Nimbus Kingdom.
2 princes from you.
Yes, that's right. I wanted so badly to find a third prince, and I don't. I have something else. But yes, 2 princes from me. Prince Mallow, not in the power position, but in the wisdom position, is thought. Look. Could you say he's not that wise because he thought he was a tadpole and was going to become a frog when he's obviously a cloud? Look, maybe. He was raised with other frogs. Like, we can't hold that against him. But he is nurturing. He has healing magic. He deals with the wind and the rain. Is a sensitive, sweet boy who just wants to help Mario and his friends find their way. He just wants to belong. So I'm putting Prince Mallow in the wisdom position.
That's so sweet.
All right. So between 1 and 95, Mark, I'll roll first.
Okay.
We get a 58. 58 is
Judd from Splatoon, the Splatoon series. The big fat cat.
The big fat cat.
That judges the results,
and is one of 2 mammals in the game until, of course, the rise of the mammalians. Yes.
1 through 94. Our second character is number 68.
68 is
QB.
QB from Box Boy.
I actually think that this is probably the correct order. So Judd would be the Triforce of Power.
Yeah.
Wisdom, of course, Prince Mallow. And then Courage would be QB.
All right, so this is good. So it's got to be like a very puzzly Zelda game, right? Like QB doesn't have arms, right? He's got legs. He doesn't have arms, right?
I think he has little arms.
You think he has little arms?
Mm-hmm, I think so.
I got to look this up. I will not be happy. Does QB have arms?
No, he doesn't.
No, he's a square. He's got eyes and legs. And that's it. Okay. So I think this is going to be it's going to have like a classic top-down Zelda perspective where he's and he's getting into a lot of dungeons where he's like just pushing boxes around.
Yeah, I think this is perfect for like a Link's Awakening style dungeon game, or like pre Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, totally.
Where you're really just working in those 2 dimensions.
And I think it's got to be almost a little Adventures of Lolo-y, where like a lot of the puzzle solving is just based around pushing blocks. Again, he doesn't have arms. This is really throwing me for a loop that QB doesn't have arms. Okay, so how is Mallow here in a support role, or is he like in danger somehow?
So like you were saying, Mallow is like a really sweet character, but he does strike me as one who potentially could I think he could be in danger. Like basically Prince Mallow is our character in distress.
Sure. So Judd is going to sacrifice him to, open a gateway to another evil land. To a land where there's nothing but mammals.
Yeah.
Because if we are dealing with, there's something very like design-wise very similar about Mallow and QB, right? That they're both like just simple white shapes with like big black eyes. And so and neither of them are mammals or like strictly known as like conventional living things. And then here comes Judd, who just wants to get back to a world where he's not the only creature like this.
Well, so I think Judd's deal is that he is kind of like revered because he is, one of the only mammals.
Yeah.
And so
maybe that's the world he wants to get back to.
What do you mean?
I'm saying, so, sorry, I have established in my head that he is trying to sacrifice Mallow to open a gateway to another world. So maybe he's trapped in the world of cube creatures and cloud creatures and wants to get back to Inkopolis.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense.
So pretty much a Link to the Past style game where instead of the dark world, it is the world of Splatoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I like that too.
QB's pushing little blocks around.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. All right, Mark, we are rolling again here. Oh, actually, you got to give us our Triforce of Wisdom.
Yes. Okay, so I have 2 here again. And
yeah, that's right.
the one that I'm going to go with, I think is maybe the most direct Zelda analog that we've discussed so far. In a lot of respects, and that's Rosalina from the Mario series.
Very good. Okay, Rosalina is nurturing. She's got that loving quality, right? Is obviously very strongly imbued with magic. Lives in space.
And I consider I don't know. I would like of the Mario characters. If I were going to...
don't back away from whatever you're about to say.
If of the Mario characters, if there was one that I was going to,
date.
talk to about talk to about my problems, and anticipate that they would give me good advice, it would be Rosalina.
Yeah, she would listen to you.
Yeah,
right. And maybe she would come back at you with like advice that's a little too esoteric and too specific to her own experience.
That
you'd be like, I don't spend my life living in space with stars.
Right. But maybe I can apply this back to me some way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just nice to have someone listen to you, right? Okay, great. So now we are going to roll for power and courage. Mark, I'll roll first between 1 and 92. The number is 37.
That is Edelgard.
Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses. I mean, she could go in either the position of power or courage. I think
could.
She's an ambitious character. She's confident.
Well, this kind of simplifies things for me because I'll say that I had her in as a pick for Triforce of Courage.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But I agree with you. She absolutely could go in either one.
And I mean that is one of the like beautiful parts about Fire Emblem Three Houses is that any of the three main characters could be in hero or villain role. But I feel like Edelgard just like makes the most sense as villain, even though she like I'm always sympathetic to her and she always rules.
Let's see what our second character is before we commit. So between 1 and 91, number is 72.
72 is
next door neighbor.
Travis Touchdown.
Okay, interesting.
Travis Touchdown, not a hard sell for me, is a villain.
Yeah, but
also a hero. Like either way, I feel like he makes sense.
Yeah.
Travis Touchdown, of course, the protagonist of the No More Heroes game. I was about to say he's the hero from No More Heroes. But obviously, the game doesn't think that it needs any heroes. He is crass. He's an opportunist. He has a laser sword and is using it to become like the best
assassin
fighter in the
or
world.
something.
Yeah, assassin. That's right.
Yeah.
And he does like pro wrestling moves and stuff. Stylish.
Of a sort.
Yes.
In the world that he lives in.
Yes, that's right. And, like, he adheres to his own style. Like, there's something to admire there, even if you think his style is dumb. He's pursuing it confidently.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like both of these could go either way. I could see... Although, I don't see Travis Touchdown motivated by power.
No, me neither. I mean, and courage isn't really right either, but he is, like... kind of a man of the people in a way that Edelgard is not.
Right.
And Edelgard is power, right? Like she is. Here's what I think this is, Mark. I think this is Skyward Sword. Like almost 1 for 1 because like you've got the motion controls for the sword play. Travis Touchdown has the Master Light Blade or whatever that. What are they called in?
I honestly can't remember. It's been so long since I played No More Heroes.
But so that you're controlling that with motion controls. Your like main opponent, like in sort of the Girahim-ish role, is going to be Edelgard, who like so you would get into like one-on-one sword fights with her. Like this actually tracks pretty straight for me.
The beam katana.
So the master beam katana. When he gets the little pendants together and unlocks the pedestal.
Yeah, I could totally see this. I feel like Travis Touchdown in this instance, like if it was Skyward Sword, you're less Link and maybe more Groose.
Yes.
But as in like yeah. So it's either Skyward Sword where like Link doesn't exist and Groose's arc is the arc of the main character, which is totally possible. That
you start off as like the boorish kind of bully.
Are
sort of like humbled by first of all the love of a kindly old woman. But also just by the sheer scope of the world around you that you didn't realize was out there.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Becomes a sweetheart.
I do think it makes it is a lot like Skyward Sword. Could absolutely be like that.
All right, that's great. That's maybe the only good one we've pitched. No, this is all good. All right, so now I will reveal my Triforce of Courage pick. I am going to the Wario Land series, and I am pulling off the bench Captain Syrup, a treasure hunter of sorts, who she's not mean. Like she's a little bit of a bad guy, but I like her spirit. I like the way she takes advantage of Wario, and like will frequently use him to find treasure that she's just going to end up stealing from him. But she knows her way around the world. She knows her way around multiple worlds, and is just like a cool pirate chick.
Yeah, I think this is a really fun pick. And I love that it's already kind of getting us into this Wind Waker Phantom Hourglass sort of vibe.
Absolutely. And if we end up living in that sort of Toon Link world, I will be totally happy. Mark, should I roll the first number here? Are we doing 1 and 90 at this point?
Yep, 1 through 90.
Okay, 1 through 90. My number is number 14.
Donkey Kong.
Okay, Donkey Kong.
Who has been a villain before.
True. In fact, he started as a villain.
Yeah, so we'll just put Donkey Kong
in the power
there.
position, right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe he's not. All right, Mark, between 1 and 89.
Okay. It is number 40.
Number 40 is Waluigi.
Waluigi.
Okay.
Okay, so this is
interesting.
So here's what I will say where maybe we can put Donkey Kong in wisdom, but a cantankerous?
Yeah, you're nailing it.
Yeah, Donkey Kong, and that is the Cranky Kong variety.
Oh, sure. So we're saying Donkey Kong as he appears in the game Donkey Kong, later revealed to be Cranky Kong.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. I think here's something interesting. First of all bad guys here.
Mm-hmm.
We got an Oops All Villains Zelda game. I feel like there is this trio just has me thinking about the Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. And like maybe it's because like Captain Syrup is like stylish. Like I wonder if Donkey Kong could be in the sort of Madame Couture role in Triforce Heroes, and you play as like a trio of Captain Syrups trying to beat out the Drablands from the Waluigi who's taken over there.
That's very fun.
Okay, yeah. I think that's the way I'd like to go.
So Waluigi is the wielder of the Triforce of Power, then?
I think so. I think I just it feels disingenuous to put Waluigi in a position of wisdom.
Absolutely.
He's not a support class. He's not loving. He doesn't respect the laws. I don't know how we say that Donkey Kong is any of those things. But he can be support, right?
Right. And also, we were saying the original Donkey Kong who turns into Cranky Kong.
Right.
But I don't know that I would say the Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Country is particularly wise. But he's at least wearing a tie.
He is wearing a tie. That's true. Both Cranky Kong as the original Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong need to be rescued at some point during their games, right? Donkey Kong Country 2, you're rescuing Donkey Kong. And in Donkey Kong Jr., you're rescuing original Donkey Kong, a.k.a. Cranky Kong.
Yep.
So I think maybe that's the role that he's in here is he's maybe less the Madame Couture and more the I forget the name of the princess who wants to like dress nicely, but she's been cursed by the Witch of the Drablands.
Oh yeah,
to always look unfashionable, which is why you have to keep traveling out there. I wish I could remember.
Yeah, I'm looking it up, but I like that a lot.
All right, great. So those are power is Waluigi, wisdom is Donkey Kong, and courage is Captain Syrup. What have you discovered anything?
Princess Styla.
Princess Styla. All right, Mark. For your Triforce of Courage.
Yeah. So we already have used Edelgard, who was
right.
one of my picks. So I will go with my other pick, which is Isabelle from Animal Crossing.
Oh, I love that. Let's take her off the list because I'm pretty sure we had her on here.
Yes, we did. Number 32. I got
Number 32. Great. And then have we already taken Waluigi off as well?
Nope. I'll do that right now.
Okay, great. All right. So Isabelle is our courage. She's the hero. She's a hard worker. She's there all night long at the at resident services, working harder than anybody else. So yeah, I think that's a good pick. And just like really any Animal Crossing character is like the embodiment of like people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So between 1 and 87, Mark, I am rolling for one of the other characters. 74.
And that is Dr. Baby Wario.
Dr. Baby Wario. A chaotic inclusion on our list of 100 Nintendo characters.
So, tentatively, I'm going to say the villain.
Yeah, although he is a doctor.
He is.
Means he's healing.
Well, we don't know that he's that kind of doctor.
Oh, okay. So he controls pills with magnets. What kind of doctor do you think he is?
All right, and so the next one.
Hold on, I think I need to remove him from the list. Dr. Baby, or maybe you already did.
I think I'm not sure. Yes, I think I already did. So okay, 1 through 86 is number 19. Number
19 is
Meta Knight.
Meta Knight.
Okay, so Meta Knight pretty clearly seems like power to me.
Yes. And even when he's not being a villain, because there are frequently times where he's teaming up with Kirby, right? Yep. I still feel like he's driven by power. He is the Earth. He is what's the name of his ship? The like Halberd or something like that. Yeah, I mean he's always trying to flex his power. But that means that Dr. Baby Wario is either support class or like a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he's a baby. He is a doctor, but he's also a baby.
Well, one of the reasons why it fits is because, a lot of one of the characteristics that we talked about at the beginning for the Triforce of Wisdom is the ability to heal.
Yep.
And as a doctor baby.
As a doctor baby controlling pills with giant magnets.
He would fulfill that role for sure.
Okay. All right. I buy that. But now, what kind of Zelda game is this? Where you likely our hero is Isabelle?
Yeah, I feel like this has the plucky spirit of a Toon Link adventure.
Yeah, that makes sense. That this is very like Wind Waker-y,
mm-hmm.
but probably on like a smaller scale. Although, like in the most recent Animal Crossing, you are on islands,
right?
So instead of like the King of Red Lions, it's Cap'n ferrying you around.
Yeah,
singing his little song. That song is so good.
It is very good. And then, yeah, I mean, I feel like what we ended up doing was just kind of like capturing the essence of existing Zelda games.
Yes.
Within these groups, which brings me a lot of joy.
That brings me a lot of joy too. Mark, one thing that doesn't bring me a lot of joy is that we have now concluded with the exercise, and we've not, because we are avoiding all Zelda characters, it means that we needed to leave one of our favorites off the table. We needed to not include our boy Tingle.
That's right.
So we had a rule, no Zelda characters, but I would like to propose the Tingle exception.
So are we going to then determine which role Tingle would fill the best?
I think what we should do is we should roll the other two characters and then figure out all three of them together.
Okay.
Because I think it's possible that Tingle could go in any one of those roles. He's a Renaissance man.
He's a Renaissance man, and as much as I love Tingle, it does feel like at any moment he could be pushed over the edge.
That's right.
And become a villain.
Look, I'm not saying that we live in this universe, but incel Tingle, possible.
Yeah. Sad but true.
Sad but true. One of the possibilities out there. Also, he could be the hero, and also he could be the love of your life supporting you
I mean,
forever.
It really is like a sliding doors type moment.
Absolutely. This is the multiverse of madness right here. All right, I'm going to roll now between 1 and 85.
Okay.
And we are going to find who will join our dear Tingle. Number 7. Number 7 is Kamek from the Mario series.
Okay.
And then, Mark, if you would like to roll the final between 1 and 84.
Yep. That is number 8.
Low rolls here. Number 8 is Wendy O. Koopa.
All right. So getting a lot of Mario.
A lot of Mario representation there. So I think, and then Tingle, of course, is the third. I think Tingle's going to be our hero here.
I think so too.
And I think that Wendy O. Koopa is the villain. She's Triforce of power. And then Kamek sort of naturally, I think, fits into this Triforce of wisdom. Not necessarily because Kamek is a nurturing character or a kind one, or even really a support one, but knows magic. And I could see as like a noisy support character, kind of like bossing you around. Sure, Midna style.
And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Kamek can talk to me telepathically.
Right.
Always interrupting.
Just always interrupting.
Always telling poor Tingle better ways to be doing things.
Yeah, no, I like that. What kind of game is this? I mean, it's a Tingle game.
He's in the lead game.
So I think it's got to be like a romance game.
Do you think that Tingle's like that Wendy O. Koopa has put like a spell on Tingle? Do you think Tingle is trying to get what is Tingle's goal? Why would Tingle want to
Sure. I mean, Tingle has to be driven to because he's in the hero role, right?
Maybe his dad is coming to visit.
Okay.
And Tingle has to find somebody to pretend to be his wife in a classic sitcom scenario.
Sure. Yeah, this is great.
And Kamek agreed?
Sure. Kamek agreed to pose as Tingle's wife.
If Tingle can get Kamek out of having to go to Wendy O. Koopa's fashion show
birthday
or something.
Party.
Birthday party. Perfect.
And look, in Mario, they love things are always birthday parties, right?
Birthdays or
the
weddings.
Koopa kids are always popping out of cakes.
Yeah,
I always assumed that the cakes at the beginning of the new Super Mario games were for birthdays and not for weddings.
I think
it's
you're right.
Unclear though. Yeah, no, I like this. And I don't know how exactly Tingle's going to get Kamek out of Wendy's birthday party, but he knows a way.
He's gonna do it.
So it's just it's a fake dating sim. I love this, and Wendy's just out to ruin it because she wants Kamek to have to go to her birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
This is
very selfish.
This is very good. All right, Mark. That one not necessarily a Zelda game, but a rock solid Tingle game. Let's close this out. Of course, we would love to extend the question to you, the listener. If you could pick any 3 Nintendo characters and jam them into a Zelda game, as we just did, who would those characters be? Which Triforce position would they occupy? And what the heck is that monster game that you just came up with? I think you'll find it's more challenging than you think it is. Thank you so much for email us if you have one of those, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. That's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. A special thank you to our 16-bit patron Connor McCabe. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell, and the show is at Nin Cart Society. We also have a Discord, which you can email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com, and we will send you an invitation, and you can have fun conversations with us in there all the time. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying, I think we learned a little bit about Tears of the Kingdom tonight. Just like we can intuit our way to it. Thank you for listening.